Hey everybody, I'm Danny.
No, hold on.
Hey everybody, I'm Danny. I'm the man.
I'm not ready.
Have you considered doing espresso for your morning routine? Or are you intimidated by the nuanced processes and different machines? Well, me and Siobhan decided to go all in and buy 4 espresso machines ranging from $50 to $2,000 to see if you really need to spend that much money to step up your game. Let's dive in and break it down for you.
Hey everybody, I am Danny.
And I'm Siobhan. And we had such a great time with our last coffee video that we decided this time we were going to dive in a little deeper and give ourselves a bit of a challenge.
And boy, did we dive deep into espresso. And my God, it is a challenge. But today we're going to talk about what makes a good shot of espresso. And we're going to go over all these machines from the cheapest to the most expensive. And what are the pros and cons of each.
And then later, Danny will do a blind taste test. And at the end of the video, we'll review our overall favorite.
It's going to be a great little adventure. So
come along with us on our espresso journey.
Join us. Don't leave. Don't click away. So before we get into the espresso, I just want to give you a little bit of a warning and a precursor that espresso has a bit of a learning curve compared to just coffee. With coffee, it's usually like just gravity fed and extracted through the beans that way. But with espresso, you're using high pressure machines, 9 to 15 times the amount of gravity to push it through the beans in a very short amount of time, which also amplifies when it tastes really bad too. It's extremely obvious.
You'll know right away if it's a bad shot versus a good one.
Yep. Because of that, you have to make sure that you get a grinder for some of these machines that's much more precise and grinds much more uniformly.
If you really want to get into espresso, you're probably going to have to invest in a higher quality grinder that can get fine espresso ground. And this is the Mr. Coffee. I was really interested to try this out because when we did our coffee test, the Mr. Coffee gave us a big surprise in creating a very decent cup of coffee. Unfortunately, that turned out to not be the case with the espresso machine.
This machine definitely doesn't produce real espresso. It uses basically like this steam, like little steam hole inside that just builds up pressure and shoots it out into the portafilter. And it's basically a steam bomb. Pro number 1, it's cheap.
You don't want to pay for an expensive machine or a grinder or anything like that. It's a good enough place to start.
But you will be sorely disappointed by the absolute lack of ability to transcend anything other than just slightly extra caffeinated coffee.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to get to a cafe quality espresso with this at all. Yeah, I guess that works. I don't understand how this is a tamp at all. You know, like it's really just kind of pushing it down, but it's not going to be uniform at all, you know? It looks decent enough. It doesn't seem very hot. It's really bitter.
That is the worst. That's disgusting.
It's bad. Tamp it down. Here we go.
Oh, shit.
Whoa! That was unexpected. Oh, shit. What the? It's not. Yeah, it's still very watery. So it does come with this really nice metal milk pitcher.
Yeah.
For steaming milk.
Everyone that was more expensive than this didn't come with a pitcher.
Surprisingly.
It was the only one that came with a milk pitcher. And honestly, like the milk frother thing wasn't bad.
No, that worked great. Steam. Ooh, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, exactly. No, it's still pretty bad. With the other ones, there's a really rich flavor, and that's what I like about espresso over coffee. And I'm not getting that from this. Yeah. Another thing is that there's really only one button on here. Is you just can turn it on, and then you have to sit and wait, and it takes like a couple minutes for it to start going.
Yeah. You have to have the portafilter inside of it, because if you turn this on, it'll just go whenever it's hot. And so it could just squirt everywhere.
Yeah, so it was very inconsistent when we were doing it. One time we had to wait a couple minutes for it to get a shot, and another time it spurted out right away, everywhere. It might be worth it just to go up a little bit and invest in a better machine, because you will get discouraged with this, I would say. You're never going to end up with a good shot. So.
In a way, it's kind of beautiful how simple they've made this thing. It just barely does.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it works and creates its own weird style of coffee that is you can't really consider coffee or espresso. It's sort of like in a sad, weird limbo world. DeLonghi. DeLonghi. You'll notice right off the bat, it's like got a really nice slim profile, so you can like feed it into somewhere under countertop where maybe you don't have space.
Yeah.
Once I started pulling shots with it and pulling out the accessories, I realized this machine isn't designed for real espresso. It's designed for pre-ground coffee.
In fact, if you have espresso grinds that are finely ground, they won't work with this.
It only comes with double wall baskets. It also comes with a special pod filter, which are these like illy pads. That's basically you just stick them in here like you would just ground espresso, except it's nice and neat.
It's like the Keurig of espresso.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
It's a really complicated Keurig at that point.
Yeah. It doesn't smell good.
No.
It smells weird.
No.
Oh my God, that's like hotel room coffee. It's like really watery.
Really?
It's bad. That's what I see what you think. Doesn't it taste like hotel room coffee?
It tastes like it tastes chemical. Like
It's almost chemically, yeah, like a
it's
soapy kind of.
chemical kind of shot.
Yeah, not nice.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't like these anyway when you have to buy packets just to use it.
It's like, what's the point of this thing? It's supposed to be the ground coffee. I think you'd be good all day.
Yeah, definitely. It's really made for ground coffee, I think.
That's not a normal double shot, or maybe it is. I don't know.
That's a lot.
All right, stop machine. But that's an artificial pressure wall that's created that, so it's a little weird. It's a good shot.
Is it?
It's actually a pretty good shot.
Really?
Yeah, you should try it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of a rich flavor that's still kind of missing.
Yeah, this really, at the end of the day, just kind of tastes like coffee with some cream on it.
So the steamer really didn't work for me. It cut out after a few seconds, completely cut out. And that didn't get the milk anywhere near the level of frothing that I was looking for. Okay.
It seems to be consistent, but maybe it just doesn't hold steam very fast is what's going on. Like, it just doesn't hold steam for very long. The other day, the steamer worked pretty much okay, but yeah, today it just kept like cutting in and out for some reason.
It was very inconsistent.
Hey, this is Danny editing this. To be fair, we may just have not let it heat up quite long enough. So your mileage may vary, but it's probably safe to say that it's not designed for a lot of milk.
If I had to choose between this and the Mr. Coffee, or I had to invest, probably just go with the Mr. Coffee over this probably.
Really?
Yeah, it's cool and nice, but like the Mr. Coffee tasted the same.
Yeah.
This was more like nice to use, but it was also like 4 times the price. The temperature was more consistent than the Mr. Coffee though.
I was excited to use it, but it was ultimately a bit disappointing.
Yeah, you were really into this one. So this is the Gaggia Pro. Look at this beautiful hunk of machine metal here. This is basically the cheapest way you can get into like an espresso machine versus an appliance. It's also super popular because it can be modified, and you can grow with this as you learn more about espresso.
It's a great introductory machine if you're looking to get into espresso as a hobby. This is what it comes with right out of the box. We got a basic portafilter, and it's got a double shot basket and a single shot basket, as well as this double walled basket. And then I gotta turn this off when I think it's done. That looks good to me. It's not actually great. But it's not awful. Like if you had cream in it, it would be good. But I have had some really good shots from this though. I know it can make a really good one. Yeah. That one was just a little off, but we just like adjusted the grind on this. So like maybe we just need to mess with that a little bit more.
It's like a manual transmission on a car versus an automatic.
Yeah,
you have to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
It's very Italian. I don't know. I just imagine like, they're like, oh, they'll figure it out.
Adding to the level of control that you have over it, it's highly customizable. And you can modify it to your needs. So you can get a different spring that controls the pressure. If you want to repair it in the future, all of these parts you can buy individually.
You can even just get a bottomless portafilter if you want to get a little bit more into espresso.
The milk steamer as well is great. Just get that initial flush of water out. Very consistent, very easy to use. It just feels right, you know? Not perfect, but...
But that's a delicious...
That is really good, actually. That is.
For the price that you're getting this thing at, it's expensive when you start jumping up from coffee machines, but as far as espresso machines, it's actually very cheap. If you get an appliance, it's designed to be like obsolete in probably 2 to 3 years, mostly. But this thing, there's like no doubt about it. One of the cons for sure is the temperature that it pulls the shots at. Because it's a single boiler, you're always going to have a constant trade-off between whether the steamer is on or whether the espresso is on for the right temperature.
Right. You can't do both at the same time.
Yeah. So if you turn the steamer on and then you turn on the espresso shot, it's going to blow out hot steam from the group head. So it's going to be not correct.
Yeah,
basically.
and sometimes you have to purge it before to get all that extra steam and water out before you do the shot.
Well, I spent the last month getting super frustrated about this machine and trying to get like the shot at the perfect, essentially like 200 degrees or 93 degrees centigrade. And basically we just decided to pull a shot, wait 1 minute after the group head light came back on, and just pull the shot. And we got, after 5 shots, an average of 196.
It was very consistent.
Yeah. So like, honestly, I think if you are concerned about temperature, one, lower your expectations. You're not going to get precise temperature from this machine.
Yeah, you really can't control it.
But two, as long as you do something consistently on this machine, like you're in your morning routine, you will get a consistent enough temperature to where you can start dialing in your shots a little bit better. Also, you can install a PID later on if you really want to get into it.
Yeah.
I think all the blood is rushing out of my body now. So this is a very expensive espresso machine. We got this in the mail a little bit later than the others, so our tests have been slightly limited with it, but enough that I was quickly able to see that this machine offers kind of a different experience altogether than the others.
It's restaurant quality. This is what you would expect to find in a cafe. It's beautiful. It's heavy duty, very well made. This is all metal.
It has everything you need to make a reproducible shot. Specifically what I'm talking about, this guy has something called a PID, controller device that talks to the boiler and keeps it like almost rock steady at the right temperature.
Little screen right here, and you can actually adjust and control the temperature to the degree. And that seems to work really well.
Yep.
None of the other machines had any control over temperature.
Where the Gaggia fell apart was that it couldn't produce like an accurate temperature. It could kind of get in like that plus or minus 5 range. It's got a lot of like advanced features that we haven't really dug into a ton. Like you can do pre-infusion with this actually. So that just wets the beans on top for like up to 6 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Which kind of like opens the pores and allows the water to flow through differently.
Yeah.
The whole theme of espresso, I've noticed, is variables. This machine is the best one at taking out all the variables. When you get so frustrated with the other machines that you just want to be able to consistently dial in your shots, this is when you have to buy this machine. Way better than that, it actually has 2 boilers. It has one dedicated to steam and then one dedicated to the shot.
So you can pull your shot and do the milk at the same time, froth your milk.
Yeah, and for that you have to pay an enormous cost.
Yeah.
So. Oh, it's built-in timer. Oh, that's nice. 30. Yeah, that's wow.
30 grams in 23 seconds.
And it didn't like keep shooting after I turned it off. It tastes a little sour, but it tastes very even. Probably on the under extracted side. But look, it's already back up to temperature. It went everywhere. Okay, it was purging. Nope, it's still going. That's literally every direction. Or is it?
Ah! Oh my god.
That's not how you do it. But yeah. Not that great. Yeah, now I would have to dial in for the machine. But I will say, we did try all these shots, and honestly, the Gaggia had great shots. Sometimes it tasted better than this. The problem was we couldn't get it consistently to taste better than this.
You would have much more control with this
Yes.
than the Gaggia. But the taste from our initial tests was pretty much on par with the Gaggia.
One thing I will say I hate about this machine, if you look here, as I pull this out, the little drip tray, oh, it's full already. Oh. You have to lift it out and angle it as you pull out the water, which it's full of water right now. So if
Fills
it
up
was
really fast.
super full and you had to angle it, it would just pour all over, and that'd be annoying. The repairman said they could get a Rancilio part like that, like the next day. Whereas some of the other more obscure espresso machines, they just don't produce parts for them very often. And there just weren't industry standard parts.
This is something that will hold up in the long term.
This
You
should-
can repair it as you
Yeah,
go.
this should last a decade easily.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Siobhan spent about an hour making espresso shots, and can I take my blindfold off?
Yes, we are ready to do the taste test.
Oh, it's bright.
Ooh.
Oh my God, I was like under that blindfold for like 30 minutes.
Hey, this is Danny in the Edit Bay, and I just want to let you know before you see this taste test, just realize I literally forced Siobhan to learn how to make espresso a day prior to this, and I barely know what I'm doing, so just realize on the higher end machines there's no training wheels, and you really have to dial in these shots to make them taste right versus the appliances kind of work no matter what. So enjoy my face while I drink these.
Here comes number one.
Okay.
It's pretty smooth.
Is it?
Yeah.
1 out of 5?
In terms of like drinkability, I give it a 4 out of 5.
4? Okay. Really?
Don't give me any clues.
Okay. No clues.
That one is so freaking sour. That gets a 1.
Wow.
1 out of 5. All right, number 3. Number 3 is more on the bitter side. That gets a 4 out of 5.
4?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, this is number 4. That is definitely under extracted tasting, and I'd give that a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
And that's in terms of just drinkability, like which one was the most pleasant to sip on. That was number 2 was definitely the most horrendous though.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, all right.
All right. So, you ready for the reveal?
Yeah, I guess.
So, number 1 was the DeLonghi.
Yeah.
You gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
And you said, but it tasted more like coffee.
Yeah, it didn't. I could tell it wasn't like true espresso. It was weaker. But in terms of like smoothness, it was definitely smooth, I'd say.
Number 2 was the Gaggia.
Wow.
And you
Yeah.
gave it a 1 out of 5.
That was bad.
So it was the worst one of
It
all.
was the worst.
I think that could have been my technique, though,
Yeah.
with that one, just because it can be a little sensitive.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
yeah.
It's the training wheels are off when you use that one.
Yeah. And then number 3 was the Mr. Coffee,
Wow.
which you gave a 4 out of 5. So,
I have a feeling that one tasted like coffee too, though.
maybe.
That's why I liked them, is because it just tastes like plain coffee.
Yeah.
Versus like an overwhelming, like intense sour shot of espresso. All right, and then number 4, I guess I know which one that was.
Was the Rancilio.
Wow.
And you gave it a 3 out of 5, which
Yeah.
is still pretty high.
That probably speaks towards like which ones are the easiest to do shots on, or the appliances,
Yeah.
no matter what. But to be fair, we've had amazing shots on the Gaggia
We have,
too.
yeah, some
Like,
really good ones.
Ones where like we're not like on camera, we're just like, that's a good shot.
Yeah.
And that one definitely didn't work for some reason. Thank you for making it all the way to the conclusion. And now we're gonna tell you our favorite. I will tell you right away, I think like probably what the best buy is the Gaggia. But this one's my favorite because it's still the nicest one. I really like the Silvia. It controls all the features and it just feels amazing. But I will say, like, for normal people who do not have the spending power in your daily lives, the Gaggia is definitely the way to go. This is a freaking espresso machine. And these guys, the Mr. Coffee and the DeLonghi, are kind of a joke, to be quite honest. They're just not real espresso machines.
Overall, from my first impression and having tried espresso from all of these, I have to say the Gaggia is definitely my favorite. It's very compact and still feels like a personal home appliance. The best value for quality.
Yeah, you'll still have headaches after using it and probably severe anxiety from drinking too much espresso. But the Gaggia, clear and away, seems like the way to go. And I think I am probably going to want to keep doing more tests with the Silvia because I like it.
Yeah, I think if you're really serious about espresso, you're trying to get the best machine here, I would say it's the Silvia as well.
Thank you so much for watching. And if you endured this entire video with us, you get a gold star for patience. If you're in the kitchen though and you're making food while not watching it, you get a silver star. It's not as good.
Thank you all for joining us on this journey. We had a really good time reviewing these machines, and we hope you do too if you decide to get into it. Bye.
Bye.